Hello, everyone. It's me. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been a little busy, but I've made progress since last time you saw me. So, what you saw was me put the motor in, or me saying I was going to put the motor in the car. So, I actually did come out here and put the motor in, but I'm outside, as you can see, and it's been raining constantly. So, in between periods of rain, I have come out here and managed to do some things to it. As you can see, belt's on, the alternator's on, the starter is on, the two heater core hoses are hooked up back there. Uh, the motor mount bolts have been tightened down. Transmission is locked in. It's I was having trouble with it because the transmission cable. Now the transmission never came out of the car, so the transmission, the cable that goes from the clutch quadrant to the transmission, and it's got a clip on it. So the clip was still on the cable, and the cable is pretty strong. It's got a lot of tension on it. It wouldn't let the transmission come all the way forward so that the motor would meet up. So one side met up, and the side where the cable is wouldn't meet up because the cable was holding it back. Took the clip off, took the cable out, went back there, rolled the drive shaft a little bit, shook it. It lined right up. Pow, went right in. Tightened the bolts up, and I've been struggling with that for a little while, so I finally got that straightened out. The motor mounts were already in. Now, I did have a problem with the motor mounts. When I did put the motor in, they were wrong. They were on the wrong sides. So just like Big Sister over here, they are specific. At least these aftermarket ones I bought are, one is driver's side, one is passenger side. And if you get them wrong, they don't line up with the slots. So you got one square slot and you got one long slot. The long slot is where your motor mount bolts stud goes in, and it's a long slot to where it moves up and down. So depending on how high the motor sits in, or what kind of motor mounts you got, which if you get a different set, it might sit higher in the car or it might sit lower, which mine sits right about on the bottom of that. It sits about perfect. So I got the motor mounts swapped around, and then it sat right in. And I was having trouble with that because the motor mounts, when they were wrong, the motor was offset. So it was like the motor set too far back, which the motor doesn't, because if the motor's made it up to the transmission correctly, they fall right in the hole. That meant they were wrong. So I had to take them apart, take them off, switch them around, and then once I did that, I lowered it back down. They fit right in. And so now what we have is everything's bolted down, motor's down, transmission's down. I put the two bolts back in the cross member. Everything is solid now. So now here's the dilemma. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right. So I use BBK products. I don't know if anybody else uses BBK products. Let me take this and show it to you. All right. So this is a BBK header. Now, I bought these headers brand new. BBK, see? It's BBK on them. And I'd say this build is about 5 years old. Now, looking at these aren't, they got a little rust on them. They're not too bad. And I thought about getting another set, but I think since they ain't leaking, I'm just gonna go ahead and run it. I'm just gonna make it happen. If I get any leaks out of them, I'll just change them, I'll order a new set. But for now, they look fine. As far as what I'm going to use them for, nobody will ever see them. I'm not one of those people that I need to pop the hood to show everybody my handiwork. If you watch any of my videos and you've seen this motor on the stand, you know what it looks like. You see what it looks like in the car. I mean, the car isn't, it's not a show car. It's not even a show winner. If at best, it'll run like I think it will, and it'll be a fun car to drive. As far as aesthetic wise, you spend your money on this, and as far as BBK goes, I've never really had a problem. Now the valve covers are BBK, and they were aluminum, brushed aluminum, kind of like the aluminum heads colors, and I sanded them down and painted them Ford blue to match the block, and then they're 6-bolt. No, not 6-bolt. C6, 7, 8. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolt. Yeah, bolt on, and they look aesthetically. I have not seen anybody else with a BBK valve covers. But granted, the timetable on this bill was 5 years ago. Now, the motor was in the car for 5 years before I kept having problems with it. The computer went out, and I thought the distributor went bad, and I had a whole host of problems with it before I ever figured out that the motor wasn't balanced, and it would never stay running. And so wasted a lot of money and wasted a lot of time. I never actually even drove the car. I backed it up a few times, but I never got it out on the road and road tested it. The clutch was really stiff. The cable, I think, needs to be adjusted some more. I never could get the engine to stay running long enough without finding things wrong with it. And then it shook. So no, I wasn't finna take it out on the road, and it really would have came apart then if I'd have tried to road test it and took it down the road and it hit it hard, and it would have shook it apart in the middle of the road, and that wouldn't have been good. I would have damaged some stuff. But seeing as this is a different monster, things like this, they sit and rust and go bad. The bolts fell out of them, I don't know. I never loosened them, but just small things like that happen to it. And so, these are just things you just have to take into account when you let something sit, and that's what happens. So the BBKs will go back on, no big deal. As long as they don't leak and they work, I'll be fine with them. Once I button up the BBKs, I think I'm gonna get some more bolts for those. I don't like the way those looked, but so I'm gonna go for that. And after I get done with that, then it's fuel rails, harness, hook the fuel lines up, and we'll go from there. It's pretty much where we are right now. When I get it down, I'm gonna get it off the jack stands because I've got everything done that goes under the car. So once I get that done, I will go for that. Meanwhile, I got work to do, and it ain't right here neither. So when the work's never done, I gotta go pick up a truck. So I'll leave this until tomorrow. Plus, it's supposed to rain later again. So, y'all keep it between the mustard and the mayonnaise, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.